What's up, guys? Welcome to Locker Room Logic, episode 17. I am your host, Matt Kane.
And I'm your co-host Charles Kennan. And like he said, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back. This locker room logic where sports meets the
Yeah,
culture. And we got we
we
you
got
know
a
it's been
loaded
a
show for you. Got a
it's been a
loaded
little bit
show.
it's been a little bit since we was last on here, but as y'all know, the NBA playoffs has been on. It's been great. Hope y'all enjoying it. I hope whoever voting on their team, hope they made it past the first round. Um,
Yeah.
we're just gonna start off a little light today. Matt, can you start us off?
Yeah, so as you guys know, yesterday was a wild day in the NBA. RIP to Brandon Clark and Jason Collins. And if you guys don't know who they are, they were NBA vets. Well, mostly for Jason Collins, 13-year NBA vet. Played for Nets, Celtics, etc. A
Yeah.
couple other teams. I didn't really follow his career,
Yep,
but
and the first openly gay NBA player
yeah,
to
that
ever
too.
play. Yeah, we sadly lost him to brain cancer. He was battling, I think it said a couple years.
Yeah, he came. I think it was like 2022 when he came out and said that he had brain cancer. So
Yeah. So we just want to send our prayers, and our thoughts out to his family. And then with Brandon Clark, young man, 29 years old, sadly tragically lost his life. I think I heard it was a drug overdose.
yeah, that's what they're saying.
Um
I don't really know. I can't really speak on that, but
yeah.
yeah, the reports is crazy right now. Some say it's a drug overdose or whatever. They're still investigating it,
um
but deeply saddened.
yeah, because as some of you may not know, about a month ago he was caught and arrested back in like April, March for possession of drugs. Um Hopefully, we didn't know how serious it was. It wasn't put out that it wasn't put out that it was something no more than like weed or something.
Yeah,
But clearly it was something stronger and something that he probably was battling for a long time,
yeah.
and that he couldn't get help for it. But our prayers and thoughts are out to his family. Um, this just goes to show, life is short.
Mm,
Anything can happen. So just sit there and hold your family members, tell them that you love them, tell your friends that you love them, and then just live every day with a purpose and
yeah.
thrive. Just strive to be better.
And
Um,
if you know somebody or have a family member that is battling with mental health or any type of illness, just try to be there for them best way possible. And just be a leader. Just be a leader and a pillar in your communities. Whether it's through sports, academics, whatever. Just lend a helping hand.
yep. Um, to move on, Daryl Morey and the 76ers, as of yesterday, have decided to part ways. Um, Matt, you got your opinion first, because I got
Yes,
mine.
yes, because this finally the analytical basketball is over. This man is actually a dumpster fire of a GM.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know what he was doing, although he gave James Harden everything he wanted in the while he was on the Rockets. He completely killed the 76ers organization. So I'm not celebrating, a person losing their job, but if you don't do a good job, then it's time to move in a different direction. So hey man, Daryl Morey, you just do better. Like you do better. I don't know what to tell you.
I hope you're able to find another job in either in the NBA or G League or in college.
Yeah,
But just go off what you were saying, yeah, I feel like these last 6 years
yeah, 6 years.
it's been
Yeah.
6 years, 6 seasons, 6 7 seasons. He's been a Sixers GM. We have seen little to no progress with the Sixers. His biggest move was literally just trading Jeremy McCain and signing Paul George.
Yeah.
As you can see, both those moves are terrible and idiotic decisions. Um, Sixers. I don't know what GM out there is available now, but I say just go get someone new.
Yeah. Facts.
Get someone, just promote somebody amongst your current office and just give them the keys to the team, because I feel like it's best to just do something homegrown. And with the bright future that you guys do have with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, I feel like this offseason y'all should definitely look more forward to parting ways with other players
Yeah.
and other coaching staff members and whatever. Um, Moving on. Uh, the Milwaukee Bucks and are now open to trading Giannis Antetokounmpo after months of if he'll stay, if he won't. So, hopefully we'll get some good trade offers or, trade ideas this
It's
offseason
a
from
hard
other
trade. It's
teams.
gonna be a hard trade.
As we know, the only two teams that probably most likely will get Giannis are the New York Knicks or the 76ers, but I did hear that the Warriors are still
Yeah,
aiming to get him if they can't get LeBron this offseason. Um but
yeah,
with
NBA
that,
crazy.
leading with more Bucks news, as we all know, the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo are under investigation. But from the NBA, all Shams and other sources really said was because that Giannis and the Bucks organization had given the NBA two different stories on why Giannis was out this season. And when both of y'all aren't on the same page, it does get suspicious. I feel like Adam Silver definitely has the right to look into that, and hopefully it's not no terrible news. It's just a misunderstanding. Um,
Yeah, so the Bucks. So I've been saying all season, Giannis only wants to go to New York or the Miami Heat. Those are only the two teams that can really get a deal done. If there is a deal between those two teams, it is going to be, I think it's going to be like a three-team deal, so everybody is happy. But his contract's so large, so it's going to be very um hard and stuff like that. But yeah, being the Bucks being under investigation, it doesn't surprise me. I feel like a lot of players in the NBA now are like lying about their injuries or whatever. It's very noticeable if you really like watch the NBA now. Um, so it's not surprising. It's unethical. So, but whatever.
So to start off, the episode, we got a little quick little activity that or game that we want to just get into to just break the ice. It's called Who Won the Trade, and basically me and Matt are going to discuss the past or in recent NBA trades and just quickly decide whether which team benefited the most from this trade. Start off more recently, 2025, Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis to the Mavericks. um, Matt, you go first. Who you think benefited more?
So this is a hot take. The Mavericks benefited from the trade. Here's why. Anthony Davis, when healthy, is one of the best power forwards to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, at least. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't. Timmy D and KG is still in front of him. I feel like they will always be in front of him.
Oh yeah, of
But
course.
when he was on the Lakers and after that championship run, they moved him to the five, and he openly said he doesn't like playing the five. And especially in 2020 when they had three bigs to rotate, so he'll play with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So that trade literally put him. One, they made the plan, so that you can't really be mad at that. And they put him next to Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, and then somehow, some way, they get the number one pick in the draft in the 2025 draft,
Yeah,
which is
somehow.
yeah, somehow they got that. So, um, even when they trade AD, they still have Cooper Flag now, so you can't really get mad at that. I think Nico Harrison. I kind of know his logic trading Luca, so you know
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's now that it's officially been a year and some change for that trade to really sit and soak in everybody's mind. And I would definitely say the Mavericks also, I would say they benefited more. Just like what you said, they got Cooper Flag. They're able to rebuild. They have a bright future with him.
Yeah.
And then what they were able to trade for AD, they got solid pieces around them. And then some of those assets, like a Chris Middleton, could still perform
Mm-hmm.
for a win now team. So if they were to trade him, I think his contract might be up low key. But
Yeah, I think he's a free agent this year.
but if he's not, I think they could still trade him, get some good pieces, and then they still have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie
Yeah,
Irving is
Kyrie's
a
been a great leader off the floor though.
yeah. Kyrie's been a great leader. We see him at all the courtside at all the games. We see videos of him in practice talking to Coop, and then we begin slow updates, he's able to dribble still, run up the court.
Yeah.
He's getting back and he's getting slowly but surely back to his old self
A
before he got
Hooper always
injured.
gonna hoop, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah,
it's gonna be
especially
fun to watch.
yeah, especially when you love a game like Kyrie. Come on, like all right, boom. Just before we move on though, Lakers, y'all can say y'all benefited more in terms of like having Luca, but outside of that, the team around him
Bro,
isn't good.
team's
Isn't
ass.
good. Y'all just got swept by the Thunder,
Yeah.
but I guess after or if LeBron leaves, yeah,
They have a bright future to
I got a
rebuild.
bright future, I guess too. But Genie Bus, not Genie Bus. Rob Pelinka got to really capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Moving on, 2017, Kyrie Irving to the Celtics. That's been now going on 10 years. Um, who did you say? Who do you say benefited
I
more,
ain't gonna
the
lie, that
Cavs or the
trade's mad
Celtics?
nostalgia. So
Mm-hmm.
when Kyrie got traded or wanted to trade to the Celtics, that is the from 17 to 2020 or 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So only time I like religiously watch the Celtics games. So I would say the Celtics benefited only because he got hurt 2018 and they still had a young Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown to go to the conference finals, which was like fun to watch. They had a great team. Then 2019 they had a good team around uh Kyrie and the young guys with Horford and stuff. So Celtics definitely benefited. It's just stuff didn't play out the way everybody wanted it to. So a little lackluster, but it was fun to watch. Great team up and down. Lots of young guys. So I'm gonna say Celtics benefited.
Yeah. We could just do one more. I would do the 2011 Carmelo Anthony to the Knicks.
Yes, sir.
I'll let
Yes,
you.
sir. Carmelo Anthony. First of all, no team won the trade. Carmelo Anthony won the trade.
Okay, okay,
Because
whatever you
he was
say.
the best player on the planet at that time. So whatever team got him won the trade. So the Knicks won the trade because they built the team around him. 2013, the Knicks tape. So the Knicks won the trade.
Yeah, I can say the Knicks definitely won. Because the Nuggets weren't really a good team. I mean, they were entertaining a little for a little bit after those mellow years, but they didn't really start winning until as of recently in 2021, 2022, when they
So
became more of a playoff team. Um, then just to move on, draft lottery. As y'all know, it just happened this past Sunday.
yeah,
Sunday, yep,
yep.
Sunday. Um, the top four picks are Wizards with one, Jazz with two, Grizzlies with three, and Chicago with four. Honestly, I love it. I love the draft order. Maybe the Pacers should have got that pick
Yeah.
over one of those teams, but it's hard for me to really kind of
Well, they
decide.
would have
They would have
they
had,
would
but
have had the fucking
hey, Clippers got that pick now.
yeah
Just what are your opinions, Matt? Because I feel like the Wizards they rightfully deserve it.
yeah
They rightfully
nah.
deserve it. I'm not mad. I wasn't mad.
I'm not gonna lie. So many teams were tanking this year, so it's very hard to say which team should have what. Because when I saw the top four or top five, I was thinking of like, okay, these teams were bad, but then you also got teams like the Nets, teams um like I felt like the Nets should have been higher. I don't know what their assets are looking at, so that was a team that definitely like struck me. I also think the Jazz, some way somehow, they need to get the number one pick. The Wizards need to pick up Peterson or somebody else because the Bansa, I think he wants to stay in Utah. I'm not gonna lie. So the Jazz need to try to make that possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think the Jazz need to somehow find a way to trade up to that number one pick. I have heard that the Wizards are open to hearing offers for that number one pick because even then, I don't think them themselves want AJ. Like
Mm-hmm.
it would make sense because you get another scorer next to a Trey Young and a Anthony Davis. But I just think with AJ's mentality and personality, him and Trey Young and AD and the rest of those guys down there, like Alex Sarr and Sham Penny, wouldn't really mesh well. Um, with the Jazz, I definitely think they need to get Peterson. I don't. I don't think for me AJ's not the consensus number one pick. Even though Peterson's a little slower, I still rely. I trust his scoring more, in my opinion. But with Carlos Boozer being working for the Utah Jazz front office, I have heard that there's a chance that they could go get Cam, but they already have three, four, or five bigs. So unless Utah is planning on trading two of those four bigs, there's no point of drafting Cam. Like Cam, in my opinion, is NBA ready than his predecessors, not predecessors, than his competition.
Yeah.
But but whatever happens happens. I'm really excited for the draft. The Grizzlies, sadly with the passing of Brandon Clark, I definitely do think it's time to just move on to a new big. and I feel like Cam will definitely fit better in Memphis. And then if you trade Ja, you can get better assets and pieces and picks around and build around Cam. I'm not saying Cam's the number one guy, but he could definitely be a great number two, kind of like a Kevin Love
Yeah,
when he was on the Cavs and when Kyrie was out and it just be him and Bron. Um, Chicago,
I don't really know where Chicago needs to be.
honestly,
Yeah,
yeah,
they just need to take advantage of this top five pick. I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie.
just take advantage of it as much as possible. Um, what's that dude name? What's the center name? Damn, I forget his name. The dude from Tennessee or UNC.
I think I know what you're talking about. I forgot his name.
I got you. But I definitely think I need to go get yourselves a big, yeah, or no more guards. No more
Yeah,
guards.
they're so guard heavy in Chicago. It's crazy.
I say we try to get a big in this competition. Oh, Caleb Wilson, yep. North Carolina.
He a
Yeah, I
forward,
say
right? Forward,
he is center forward,
center for. All right, yeah,
like
that's what I
power
thought.
forward center.
That's what
But
I
I
thought.
say go get him. But if I do want to go get more guards, I definitely think scoring wise, if you want to have a scoring guard next to Giddy, go get A Cuff. Darius is nice. He's proved that he can score at any level, from whether that's in the paint, mid range, or the three. He's probably one of the most better around surround guards in terms of scoring. Um, and with every pick under that from 5 to 14, uh,
I don't like that OKC got 12.
I love it.
I
We're
don't
about to
like
go
that.
get Yaxel.
But
Um,
here's the thing. Yeah, y'all don't need Yaxel.
we do,
You
we
don't
do,
need
we
Yaxel,
do. We
bro.
need Yaxel. We need all of them.
They're just y'all just greedy at this
Yeah,
point.
we
Like
just
it's
call
not
me
even fair.
greedy. Call me
It's
greedy.
not fair. I feel like the NBA, if they need to investigate somebody, they need to investigate the Thunder
Call
because
me greedy.
that shit should be illegal. I'm not gonna lie.
Um, I mean,
But
hey,
Yaxel is a what's that, under the radar type of player. I definitely want to see him flourish wherever he goes.
yeah,
So
I don't think necessarily he's under the radar. It's just more so with him being older. A lot of teams aren't really looking at him that are picking above 10. But every team 11 and down does need like a solid older forward that's
yeah,
that's ready to come in and contribute.
in
And the
front.
Thunder, Warriors, Heat are some of those teams. Maybe the Hornets could, if he falls, or if the Hornets could trade up, I say trade up and get him because
That'll be fire
like
because then the lineup will be Lamelo, Brandon, Yaxel, Bridges, and you could put like Kalkbrenner or Bruce Ele.
yeah, or you could put Khan at two
Oh
or
yeah, I
three.
forgot about Kyle. Oh,
And
shoot.
then
Yeah, Brandon.
Yaxel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yaxel can come off the bench as a six man. But hey, I
Oh yeah,
definitely
you could
think
do that too.
I definitely think this draft lottery order. I'm not too mad. The only thing that it has been a little controversial is the Clippers. That Clippers pick, but Indiana
Yeah,
did decide not to protect it as a top 10. They protect the top four, and as you know, they don't have that pick anymore.
yeah,
It's now the
they want to
Clippers.
go crazy.
But I guess you could say if Kawhi does decide to leave, the Clippers do have a chance to pick up another forward or big
Yeah.
that could come in and contribute to next to Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin.
Hey, but I think Indiana shouldn't be mad because they still got a solid big man, especially now that they Miles Turner left. Zubac is a good like 20 and 10 type of player. So with Halliburton coming back, they still got McConnell, still got Neesmith and all those guys. They'll be straight.
Yeah.
At least I think.
Yeah, and then with Atlanta, y'all made the playoffs and y'all still got an eight. Oh, yeah, still got the top eight pick.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. I say go get somebody that can contribute right away. Um, the draft combine has been going on. I personally don't pay attention to it because it doesn't tell you the full story. We've seen guys like Continental, for a recent example, was the worst shooter in the combine, but this year he's one of the arguably top five best shooter in the league this season. So the draft combine doesn't tell you the full story. You definitely will get a lot of diamond in the rough guy kind of players in this draft.
Facts.
So I think overall just I think teams just have a lot to look on and do their research upon because for the teams like the Bucks who do plan on moving on from Giannis with that 10th pick, I say go find another big that could just contribute as a solid piece to get rid of one day, or solid piece to contribute in another
Mhm.
championship run.
And
Um,
Doc Rivers stepped down as a coach, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So I
step down.
yeah, he stepped down.
I say he's
Personally,
fired.
I people need to stop coming at Doc Rivers like as a coach, you can only do so much. If players don't buy in, they don't buy in. But I like the job he did with Ryan Rollins this year. So, especially he had Rondo on his staff. So as a point guard coach, so
Yeah.
hopefully they can just build on that. Build like Ryan Rollins, 23, still
hmm
young. They got a couple young guys over there.
And
So
then with the Mavericks getting Masai Ujiri as a new
mm,
GM, and I've seen him. He said he's gonna make Cooper one of the best players of all time. He's gonna bring more
yeah,
championships to Dallas. And as you saw, what he did with the Kawhi trade, and what he was able to do with Demar and Kyle, and a little bit after before they fired him. Masai Ujiri, this is definitely his redemption arc, I would say, to
definitely,
avenge himself as a GM. The ninth pick is solid for the Mavericks, especially like with the potential and what we've seen, the one sample size of the season that we've seen from Cooper. There's definitely potential championships in the future. We just gotta capitalize because y'all was there. Y'all was there with Luca. Y'all was in the
yeah.
finals.
Went to
Y'all was
the
there.
conference finals
Y'all,
and the finals
like
again.
y'all could have that could have been y'all. Y'all could have still been competing for a championship, but you know
I
the
mean, hey,
behind the scenes things have to happen,
exactly. If your
and
man's out of shape and not playing, if your man's a cone on defense, it's kind of hard in clutch time because then
yeah,
they just gonna put you in a pick and roll. Boom, I'm at the cup.
yeah. So, but hey, congrats to the Mavericks for still able to get in the top 10 pick. Brooklyn, as you were saying, you feel like Brooklyn should have probably gotten a higher pick,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm not surprised that they didn't get a higher pick. I feel like them having Michael Porter Jr. on their books is what played a factor. Because I feel like the NBA wouldn't want to put a top four, top five pick in Brooklyn, especially when you have a guy like Michael Porter that's taking away shots.
mm,
But you could still get someone pretty good at six, of course. Number six picks they've worked out in the past. I don't really got none in the mind right now, but I know for a fact
yeah,
they've worked out. Like,
yeah.
come on.
No, I just hope the overall team because they've been like tanking since since KD and Kyrie, so I don't really know. Like, I just hope they could finally use some of those like unknown type of guys. They had a lot of unknown hoopers during that 2020 2021 pandemic stuff that people forget about.
Damn.
Like Mike James, Bruce Brown, fucking Mike James, Bruce Brown, Chris Chioza. I was seeing highlights today. So just you try to use what you have in who you draft and just build a team. They just need to build out a team to at least start competing with the bottom tier teams. At least I would like to see
Mm,
them maybe fall short of a playing game. So
yeah.
it's whatever. Just hope they do the right thing.
And then just the hit on the heat on the Heat real quick. I feel like if y'all are all all in on getting Giannis, that pick will have to come with it.
Yeah, I
There,
trade that pick.
I think the Bucks. This will also do the Bucks in great due diligence because not only will they have the 10th pick, they'll have a 13th pick 3 picks later. So not only would they be able to draft another young star, Miami they get their good guy in Giannis. But we depend on how this investigation about to go. So
Yeah, I
I
feel
don't
like
think the Bucks will be making moves until after this whole thing is settled.
can't front, and I think Miami instead of maybe Giannis try to pursue Ja, maybe because you need a point guard to go with Bam. Unless you're trying to trade Bam, but I don't think they're definitely not going to do that. So
Yeah,
I
because
think Ja needs a change of senior and he needs discipline. So people shit on Miami and how it's been run, but I love how Miami organization is ran because players need that. Because like they weed out who really loves to hoop and who just there for fun. So
I
Ja needs
mean
discipline.
Tyler
So
Hero's still there.
and well, he's gonna be in a trade package.
Yeah,
So
but
personally,
I would have got rid of him a long time ago.
yeah, I don't,
But moving on, we got one more little game activity. Star bench cut. I'm not sure if y'all know how this goes, but three players, and we would both choose. Both of us would choose whether we start, bench, or cut them. Um, Matt, you go first. Start, bench, cut. LeBron, KD, Steph.
That's easy for me. I'm cutting KD, starting Braun, and I'm benching Steph. Cutting KD because he a cancer to the team. He a cancer to every team he been on, and he is like not a good person
Uh,
personally. But
yeah,
that's just me.
yeah. Ethically, yeah, KD's not a guy you want on your team, especially if I have a young squad. Um, Houston, shout out Houston.
If I
Um,
have a young squad,
um,
yo,
yeah, I'll go with the same thing. I'm starting Braun. I'll like. I mean, if you're doing current too, like right now, uh, I'll start Braun. I'll bench Steph, cut KD.
but
Only
and
be,
even then, if we doing all time, like KD got his 2 rings from Steph,
yeah.
so
So even all
it's
time,
all time.
it
It
kind
don't
of
even
plays. It kind of ranks
exactly,
itself out. Moving
exactly.
on, Timmy D, Dirk, KG.
Hey, that's kind of hard for me.
I know.
You want you go
I'll go
first.
first. All right, so I'm starting Timmy D. Hands down, I'm starting
I
Timmy
don't
D.
know. I don't know about
Timmy
that.
D, 15 all defensive player, all team defensive, all defensive team selections, 5 rings, MVP, arguably the greatest power forward of all time, arguably one of the greatest bigs to ever touch
See,
a
I
basketball.
don't know about that though.
Bench, I'm benching KG. Um, just like Timmy D, one of the best defensive power forwards of all time. He got a ring with the Celtics. He got it out the mud in Minnesota. Um, but they ain't surrounded with good enough pieces. Like they surrounded him with solid pieces, but he ran into the 2000 Kobe led Shaq and Kobe and Shaq led Lakers. Dirk got the bloodiest ring of all
Yeah,
time.
he got the
No
bloodiest.
argument. But you are a cone on defense.
Dirk,
Dirk is a cone.
Dirk,
Dirk a
you
cone on
don't
defense.
you don't need to play defense when you got that strap.
All right, then why Luca got to get traded then?
All right, but that's different. He's
This
like a guard type.
this dude,
He's a different type
this
of player.
dude. But I still respect Dirk. This all I love.
I ain't gonna lie, it's hard for me because I might have to just say it. I'm cutting Timmy D because the team I'm running, he don't fit the play style. I'm
This is
start,
fantasy. You
but
like
still, I'm starting KG because I want that fierce. I want that dog. I want that dog on my squad. And then I'm a bench Dirk because he got the he got it out the mud, bro. The bloodiest ring out here. You running through young Brandon Roy, first round. Second round is Kobe.
young Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy his knees
All
was
right, but
50.
they were kind of in their prime because they still won. I looked at that year. They 2011.
I'm pretty sure every team won 50
Yeah,
games
that's what I'm about to say. I think every team was like at 50 games.
or near 50 games. Yeah.
Exactly. So bloodiest ring. And he could shoot. So I gotta have him on my bench. Timmy D, all love. You just not my type of player to put on my squad.
Like, it's because the game not sexy, bro. It's because his game look
Nah,
ugly, but
he
it's
like
still
I don't know. I'm
like
just a KG type guy. Like
like
he just make me want to run through a wall.
all right, all right.
He makes me want.
And then damn, I should have switched this one up then. Cause I already got Steph in here, but Steph, Magic, Chris Paul. It originally said John Stockton, but I was like, nah, I'll trade him. I'll trade out for Chris Paul. So Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, Chris Paul. Start bench cut. Who are you going with, Matt?
I'm gonna cut Magic Johnson. I'm cutting Magic Johnson. I don't care what he did in the 80s. That's 40 years ago. I don't care what he did in the 80s, bro. Good for you, Magic. Like personally, I'm starting Chris Paul.
Hee hee. Carl, you better get
You
him
better
back.
get him
You
back.
better get him back.
Nah, yeah, you can keep that shit over there, but nah, I'm good with that. I don't care what he did in the 80s, bro. That's nah. Starting Chris Paul, and I'm benching Steph Curry. Number one, Steph Curry and Chris Paul, they from 2014 to 2017, they've been going back and forth. Clippers, Golden State, all time favorite series to watch. And number two, like I ain't see Magic play. I wasn't
Yeah.
alive. I watched tape, and it don't compare. It don't compare to what I seen live. What Steph Curry did to that. OKC Thunder team with the double bang. It don't come like Magic highlights don't compare to that
Nah, I
because I
get it.
watched that live.
I get it. I get it. I guess I go with the same thing, a little similar, but I'm starting Steph over Chris. Magic, you definitely changed the game. You were the first real big point guard, and because of you, we now have guys like Ben Simmons. Well, used to have Ben Simmons.
Well, time out.
Used to have
Time
Ben
out.
Simmons, Braun, Luca, Penny Hardaway, Grant
Yo,
Hill, tall guys who could really handle the rock, pass, play make. And you did have a little bit of a scoring game in your bag, but that wasn't you, baby. That was you was a rebound passing man. But if you could get a 20-point game, you had it on
yeah,
you. And
facts, facts.
but but in terms of like gravity, Steph Curry, man, like even in the Olympics, you knew like that's why he has to be a arguably top 4 or 5 player all the time because like Steph Curry, man, they're in the Olympics. They was like, we not worried about Bron, we not worried about KD. You worried about that little light skinned motherfucker right there. And it's from
Listen,
age
man.
from age 21 all the way to 38 now,
38,
37.
38,
It's
37.
like you can't argue that. He
Listen,
longevity,
man.
the scoring, the shooting,
I
the
like Curry, man.
playmaking, like that's Steph, bro. That's all
I
Steph.
like Steph. He
Like
not my
Magic,
favorite,
not
but
a better playmaker, of course, but that's
yeah.
that's that's Steph in terms of point guard game. Chris Paul, in my opinion, arguably the greatest point guard to never win
Point
a ring.
guard.
The original point guard, as people say. There's I mean, there's nothing to say, bro. He carried the New Orleans Hornets slash Pelicans for the first 8 years of his
8 years,
career.
bro.
He did damage. He was an MVP. He was an MVP candidate, but he was going up against prime Melo, LeBron, Kobe, KD. So you can't really. And then he in New Orleans, so he wasn't getting much shine. But we all know what Chris Paul did: walking double double, sometimes a triple double if he was lucky enough to get a rebound. Um, and
Nigga
then
said get a
arguably
rebound.
one of the best defensive guards in the in the
Facts.
NBA
He,
history.
I
Like
think
he's all
he,
time. He's all time in steals, right?
yeah, I think him and Kobe's 1 and 2 all time steals.
No, Kobe not up there. Right?
Or he passed Kobe
He
in
passed. He been
1 year,
passed.
but I forgot what year it was.
Uh,
But I think he's all time steals though.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. We gotta look that up
Not
later.
yet, but
But
yeah,
I know he's top 5, but I just can't remember which placement.
exactly.
Um,
But yeah, he locked that shit down.
yeah, and then you already know Lob City Clippers still give me tears to this day when I talk about them.
Yo, so nostalgic. I love that team, bro.
Shit, greatest team that never won a ring.
Exactly.
Then moving on, the second round is almost over. Is almost ready to conclude.
Yes, sir.
But two matchups that we're gonna just start off with the two matchups that have concluded already. We're gonna go from the first one that ended, and this is this man's team. Knicks versus Sixers. It was a clean sweep, blowout for three of those games, two of those games. It
Nah,
wasn't all
all
four.
four,
Oh, it was all four.
all four.
All four
They
was blow.
bro, they
No, no,
blew
no.
them
The
out.
first one was close. I thought.
I mean,
All right. Either
maybe
way, we knew who was winning the series. We knew they was gonna get swept. Um, Matt, what you got?
clean sweep. That's all I gotta say. Cause the only reason why Philly beat the Celtics is because Celtics don't have a big man. They have Kata and they have Vucevic, and Joel's like big as fuck. So that's why, it was kind of a mismatch down there. Honestly, I wasn't expecting like Cat to play this well against Joel, only
Mm-hmm.
because they're kind of the same player in terms of like falling around and discombobulated. But I guess Cat is coming into his role. He's being the facilitator, kind of like what Sabonis was in Sacramento. So Mike Brown implemented that because I remember in Hawk series there was like 3 straight backdoor cuts that Cat passed to OG. And it was like 3 straight buckets off that, and we've been using that same play in the Philly series. So yeah, it's just been a clean sweep. I'm excited. I hope and pray that the Knicks are just taking this time to train and preparate for
The Pistons or Cavs?
the Pistons,
Hmm.
mostly the Pistons, because I feel like they're gonna win. Um, but even then, the Cavs too, because they got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen over there, so it's gonna have to. It's gonna be interesting to see if Cat, pulls both of them out to the perimeter and opens the floor up. I like the dominance. That's what I've been seeing. This is what I've been wanting to see: the straight dominance from the Knicks, because I feel like we have a team to do that. It should have been a dominant performance against the Hawks, but this series, it was definitely dominant. And I just can't wait for the conference finals to start, and we better go to the finals.
Mm, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I definitely would say I'm happy to see that the Knicks are performing at a high level. Like this is like I know I talk a lot of crap about the Knicks, but I have my reasons, especially this season. It's like y'all should have
Yeah,
this should have been y'all season.
I ain't gonna
Y'all should
lie.
have
We
been
should
number
have won
one.
like 60 games. I'm
Y'all
not gonna
I
lie.
had y'all winning 60, 62 games, but you know, regular season over. Who cares? It's playoff time, and
Yeah,
y'all are
they need to lock
finally
in.
coming into y'all own. The Hawks series, you can't say was a little. It shouldn't have
Yeah,
been as close,
yeah,
but with Jalen Brunson having like four guards and wings who have long wingspans, and he's like 5'11".
yeah.
Um,
And we have a
is
deep like team, a deep bench. Like
yeah,
even to the guys that don't even play. Like I feel like Sohan should be playing more, only because mostly if we see Detroit,
defense, right?
yeah, mostly for defense. So if we see Detroit in the conference finals, Sohan needs to play because I need OG, Mikel, and Sohan to rotate on Cunningham because he's a bigger guard.
Yeah,
So we have a deeper team even to the guys that don't even play. So I
yeah.
need to see that out of Mike Brown, more versatility.
And then
So
shout out to Landry Shamet for playing more of a key role this series.
facts.
Um, I feel like shooting wise, he is probably the best shooter on the team.
Yeah.
Um, if you want to count just guards, I guess you can argue Cat
And he got
too.
lockdown defense too. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
and he can play defense. You know,
He
Alvarado.
be sliding his feet.
I don't really know y'all bench for real.
Just like Alvarado Shaman. Sometimes it's McBride.
Yeah, I must say, isn't McBride still in there?
Yeah, he started in the last two games because OG was out, but
Yeah,
McBride usually comes off the bench as a backup guard. Mitchell Robinson, but he's can't really shoot, so he's
yeah.
a liability.
Yeah. One thing, and then shout out to Mitchell Robinson. The Sixers is trying to do hack a Mitch,
Oh,
and he was actually hitting
yeah, he was hitting them
some
down.
free throws.
He
Like he
was, he
actually was
was.
out there proving them wrong. Yeah, there was no bricking for chicken when it came to
Yo,
Mitchell Robinson.
yo, this nigga said
Um,
bricking for chicken.
I'm honestly happy. Like even though I'm not a Knicks fan, I am happy to see that this is the highest chance they've had have had to win a championship in a long time,
So,
and I could definitely see them making it to the finals because
when
I don't have right now. I really don't have the Pistons or the Cavs beating them.
yeah,
Maybe the Pistons, but then again,
if we do get the Pistons,
who
I feel
knows?
like Mitch Loki is gonna eat Jalen Duren up. Pause because Jalen Duren has been playing shitty this whole playoff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you had Paulo or and Wendell Carter going at you crazy, I just know that
Yeah.
it's
Y'all
finna be
just as a
crazy.
team, y'all just need to keep that shooting that the hot hand
Yeah,
going.
bro,
That
because they got
shooting was crazy in that fourth game. 25 threes in a game which tied the Cavs of 2017.
mm,
2017? Yeah, 2017. Y'all did y'all thing. Um from Jalen's perspective, I definitely think he needs to work on just going to the rack more and getting those more mid range shots, especially against a team like the Pistons and the Cavs who do play a physical type of defense. So they're going to foul him. And if I'm him, whatever team we go up against, I abuse those calls. Like I go to the free throw line as much as I possibly can.
hell yeah.
Um, Cat, you keep doing you. Keep playmaking. Keep shooting. I feel like the confidence and everybody is instilled from the first man all the way down to the last man. Mike Brown, your coaching schemes are still a little iffy, but
Exactly.
you outcoached Nick Nurse. That is one thing that you definitely did do right. You outcoached a dude who basically had his hands on his head the whole time.
And I
Um,
don't even blame Nick Nurse. I literally blame the athletes because at some point it's like you got Embiid who's rarely like fully healthy. So it's like at some point it's like you don't even know what to do.
yeah.
You really don't even know what to do.
And then defensively, the Sixers just they weren't good,
Yeah.
and it's like oh, you can't really come for guys like VJ. VJ is a rookie; it's his first time in the playoffs, so him not having that good of a series can't really blame that on him. Maxi, you've been here before. Paul George, you've been here before. Um, and
And that's
Embiid, you've
another
been here
thing.
before, so it's like
You have got like you're overpaying guys like Paul George and Embiid and obviously, like Paul George lost a step for sure, and Embiid
Lost a
isn't.
couple
Yeah,
steps.
never is on the floor, so it's very hard. Like I felt bad for him when I seen him on the sideline, like putting his head back because I just knew that the defensive schemes weren't working and the offensive like sets weren't working because you're limited to your resources,
Yeah,
and that just goes to show you like the front office needs to do something.
yeah.
And
But one thing that
uh,
this playoff run for the Sixers showed was Tyrese, you have a bright future still. You average damn near 30 or what, if not 30 exact.
exactly. And
VJ,
if they do, oh my bad,
yeah.
if they have a good offseason this offseason, they could be in a potential win now move.
Yeah, I say this off season is the time where we sit back and like, all right, boom, what can we do to
Mm.
maximize Tyrese and VJ? What pieces can we surround them with? Are they ready to move on from Embiid? And then can they get that contract, that Paul George contract off their books? But if they're not, Paul George got to come off the bench, which coming off the bench does look good for him. I feel like he's finally accepted that he's not that dude anymore, which is good because that's what you should do after 3 million knee surgeries.
And
Moving
steroids.
on, Thunder versus Lakers. Just to speak on it first, I knew we were gonna sweep. I said five just to be nice.
Nice.
Um, but I one thing I can say about but one thing I can say about the Thunder is I'm glad we have guys like AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell, man, AJ Mitchell. What do I say, man? AJ Mitchell, you dog. You went from not even playing last season to averaging 50 to averaging close to 14 points this season, and then in this whole playoff series, you averaged over 25. You
Yeah, that's
showed
wild,
you
crazy.
showed the NBA and you showed the Lakers who you are. Like you were playing similar to like Tub Brunson, no cap.
Nah, you
Like in
was.
terms of
He
how he
AJ
was when
Mitchell left-handed too, right?
yeah,
Yeah, he.
left righty.
Yeah,
Um, you did great. I feel like he was definitely the most valuable player this playoff series. You can argue Shea was, you know, Shea still had a great last game, of course, but arguably if we don't have AJ Mitchell, we don't win this series, in my opinion. Um, he stood out a lot in terms of not just the scoring wise, playmaking. He has it in his bag. He's not afraid to go for steals, go for loose balls, pause. And he
I wasn't even
he
thinking
him
that.
starting this series was definitely a good move by Mark Dagnall. Um, Another player that really stood out in this series was Jared McCain. No matter what time you put him in that series, he was making 4 to 5 threes, which is amazing to see because it definitely proves now
So
that Daryl Morey didn't sell high enough on Jared McCain. But that's just how it is. Shea, he had a rough series because the double teaming in the triple teaming by the Lakers, which was in my opinion still a good defensive scheme by JJ Redick. Just they just don't have smart enough defensive guys on the team. Guys were jogging, guys were and weren't doing proper switches. They weren't going over screens properly. They weren't cutting off the open lanes. So there's definitely a lot of work to do with the Lakers. Bron, you definitely
forever.
proved why you're the greatest player of all time because to
Yeah,
be 41 and still lead the league and to still lead that team in scoring and overall just like mentality of wanting to win. I definitely saw that was instilled in guys like Rui Hachimura, who in my opinion was another standout player this series. He he was shooting 55% from three in that last game that they could have won, but JJ Redick sat him out for Maxi Kleber, who didn't play that whole game. But we're not going to get into that today. Um, um, and then Austin Reeves, I definitely feel like
he need
you're
to go somewhere else to get
you
his
need to go
bag. I'm
somewhere
not
else to
gonna
get it
lie,
back. I'm
but
not gonna lie.
yeah,
If they get rid of Braun, if Braun leaves, I definitely say go get the bag from LA. Go get that 4 year, 200 million.
200
They
million for Austin Reeves though.
they're they that's because no one else want to go there. I don't blame
But
them. Um,
you don't think that's crazy? Like
no, that is crazy, but it's like
that just go to show you like how much the NBA has changed in terms of like cap and money and how much money the league is making
yeah,
because guys like Austin Reeves back in like 2013 will get probably like 4 years 50 million or 4 years 60 million if that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's crazy. Like
But
two
I
of the
definitely do think he isn't due for a payday because
nah, yeah,
he
for
took two
sure.
pay cuts these past few off seasons, and he's continued to progress at a rapid rate, and he's proved why he deserves to be paid this off season.
Nah, yeah, he definitely
If
needs to be paid. I
and
feel like I don't know. I just like we said, just go get your bag somewhere else. I wouldn't. I don't think. I think if and when Braun like retires, I feel like he's gonna retire this year. Him playing against next to Luca is not really gonna work for the long run for some reason. It just like they games don't match. Like it don't match up for me.
I get it. I think they just need more defensive guys around them,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think Rui, if I'm you, I if LA don't keep you, bro, go somewhere else because
LA
you
just need to blow that team up.
you definitely proved a lot this playoff series. Like you're still valuable. They had you deep in the bench at some parts of the season,
Yeah,
and you I feel like you definitely showed out. And then, like I said, the Thunder we just proved why we could go back to back potentially, and potential 2-time MVP Shea proved why even though he isn't even with him not dropping 20 points 25 points a game, it's like his team is still good.
yeah.
Um, Moving on, Pistons versus Cavs. I haven't paid too much attention to this series, but I've liked what I've seen from the Cavaliers and the Pistons. Start off with the Cavs. Harden, you were averaging 7 turnovers up until this series. You still are averaging 7 turnovers, but game three or game four was you finally remembered who the hell you are, and that's James fucking Harden. Um, you bro, you're 35, 36. You've been to
Um,
16 playoffs, 16, 15?
yeah, like
Yeah,
16.
16 playoff series, playoff runs, and this is, in my opinion, this is your best chance to win a ring. And you prove you were a little iffy at first, but now you're starting to prove that you remember how to play basketball in the playoffs. You look great next to Donovan, in my opinion. Donovan Mitchell with what was it, 29 points or 39 points in the
Yeah,
second half in Game 4. Um, we always knew Donovan was nice. It was like
nah, for sure.
he proved this when he was in Utah. He's been proving it ever since he got to Cleveland. I love the spot up shooting from no, I love the spot up shooting from Evan Mobley. You can still work on it a little, but I a lot of confidence in him. Jared Allen has been proven why he's one of the most underrated bigs in the league. They've been killing Jalen Duren. Um, and just
Yeah,
as a team overall, Cavs, this series can really go either way, but I got Pistons in seven. Cade, you're arguably the best up and coming point guard, young point guard in the league. You definitely have brought back that championship mentality and winning mentality to Detroit, is what they've been missing for what was it, like 12 years before they
mhm.
yeah 12 years last time they made the playoffs, 12 years ago, or 22 before.
What Pistons?
Yeah, it was 08, right? So
Yeah,
14, so 18 years. Damn, almost 20
yeah,
years. But the Pistons, y'all look solid. You got Tobias Harris. Is it Tobias on this team, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Tobias Harris. I love that you've been able to be that second scoring option for them. You've really been stepping up this whole playoff run. The scoring, the 1-on-ones, everything from no matter what level of scoring he's been able to provide, whether that's at the rim, in the mid range, at the three, whether he's on a man or he's open. He's definitely been the he's definitely the main piece and why they've been able to keep winning, like outside of Kate, of course. Um, or Sir Thompson, you're looking a little better, but the offense does need a little bit of work still. And then Duncan Robinson, I'm happy you're not in Miami no more. You've been proven why that them choosing Tyler over you was the worst decision that they probably could have made. But hey,
Yeah.
to each his own.
And personally, everybody on that Pistons team besides Cade is not getting enough love because if you look at Tobias Harris like career retrospective, right? He been consistent everywhere he went, and it's been a progression everywhere he went, which is when he landed in Philly. He's that third option. They give him the bag, he's still consistent no matter what's going on around him. No MB, no this person, no that person gets traded. Now he's with
Detroit.
Detroit, and they're in the playoffs and they using him effectively. So
Mm-hmm.
this dude made $100 million in his career, stayed out the way, just been hooping. So
Yeah.
and I've been following. He drafted in 2013. I've been following him since I was a kid. So it's just fun to see.
I'm definitely happy to see Tobias Harris still contributing because I almost shed a tear in
Yeah,
game. I think it was game two. I think it
yeah,
was game two. He freaking went off for like 20, 25. And
yeah. I was like, yo,
I was
dude,
just sitting there
Tobias
like,
Harris.
dang, Tobias Harris still hooping. I love to see that because
Tobias Harris over me?
so many dudes have retired since 2013 and
Yeah.
him being drafted, and for him to still be that one of those dudes that's still contributing and still
He
basically
not that old
like
either. He like 33,
yeah, but
34.
it's like think of how many dudes have retired.
Exactly, yeah. Or overseas
Like
right now.
Damian Lee just retired the other
Yeah,
day. Like
exactly, bro.
he's
That's
younger than him,
yeah,
so
that
it's
shit
like,
crazy, bro.
but that goes to show you how valuable a guy like a Tobias Harris is in terms of like just you just need that second or third guy to just give you 20, give you 25, and he's definitely stepped up.
Tobias Harris over me? Remember
Yeah,
that shit, bro?
Tobias Harris over me. Yes, Tobias Harris over you. I pick Tobias Harris over anybody. Let me stop.
Disrespecting my boy Jimmy like that.
And then Timberwolves Spurs series. I'm not gonna lie, this series been fun as hell to watch.
I ain't gonna
Spurs
lie,
last night
it's
they're up.
pretty
They officially they blew out the Timberwolves by like I think 20.
Spurs,
But
yeah.
no, honestly, I cut that game off after the third quarter. I knew the Spurs had it. This has been a good series, physical series. Not many calls, not many foul, not many times the refs have been blowing the whistle. They've been letting them hoop, which is what they should have which is what the refs should have did in the Thunder Lakers series. But I don't want to get into that right now. That we passed that.
Yeah,
Um, Shout out to Io DeSumo, and I really want to give love to Rudy Gobert because
he
just ever
locking
since the
niggas up.
Nuggets series, you've been just locking,
He
locking niggas
he
up,
locking them
bro.
up, bro. He
Like,
like a cornerback in NFL right now. He
yeah,
just
yeah,
come on
bro.
now,
Like
bro.
Rudy
Like
Gobert,
what?
man. Even King of the fourth quarter had to apologize to you, and I'm gonna
Exactly.
apologize too, bro.
Listen, man.
I've been shitting on you
That's
since
why
like
he got three
2022.
DPOYs, man.
Four.
He got four?
Yeah,
I thought it was
three,
three.
three with the Jazz, one
And
with
one
the
with
Timberwolves.
Minnesota?
Yeah,
Oh
Minnesota.
shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he
But yeah,
been
four. He
four,
got four of them things,
four of
bro.
them things. How many of them got four of them things? Not a
Exactly,
lot, not a lot.
exactly.
But shout out to those guys. Rudy Gobert, you avenged yourself this playoff series, and I kind of want y'all to beat the Spurs, but I think the Spurs got Game 6, no cap.
Yeah.
But this is no not Game 6. That was yeah Game 6. Yeah, yeah Game 6. I'm happy to see that like the Timberwolves they've come at it with a different mentality. Like I forgot I was watching a TikTok yesterday. It was like they come at you with a oh you call them soft
Yeah.
and they show you out type of mentality. They
Yeah.
like you go oh you think I'm soft word boom shut the fuck up
They're
like
being
they
French. I think it's more so because Wemby and Gobert was on the French team together.
mm-hmm,
So they probably looking at each other like, oh, this nigga, he probably think he better than me. Because I think Wemby started over Gobert in the Olympics and shit.
mm-hmm,
So Gobert's like, nah, this young dude, just take your ass back, bro. Like
mm-hmm.
you ain't
Then
better than
Anthony
me.
Edwards out there playing with one leg, like still just giving them the business. Like, but we
That's
knew Anthony
crazy.
Edwards was that guy. We knew he had that dog mentality. He's always going to show it in the playoffs. In my opinion, one of the greatest playoff performers in recent history in the last, like I'll say, 6 years. Um, I appreciate his game. It's very Jordan, not Jordan esque, but his mentality is Jordan esque. He's not afraid
Yeah,
to
I
go
would say
at the best
his
player in
game
the
not
league.
Jordan S no more because
More,
he's settling for more jump shots,
mm-hmm.
which I personally don't like, but it's alright.
It's knocking down though.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta use like your ability you already got before you could start something new.
Yeah, and to go with the Spurs, I really want to give more love to Dylan Harper.
Mm,
Dylan Harper, he's been really showing out.
yeah,
I think he for his first playoff run, I think he's doing pretty good. He's doing great next to De'Aaron Fox. I felt like a lot of people were worried about how they would do next to each other going into the playoffs, but they've been able to do pretty good. Um, I feel like Stephon Castle himself has been able to do great. Devin
yeah, Stefan.
Vassell and Keldon Johnson. Shout out to Keldon Johnson for 6 Man of the year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
those two have been the greatest like two pieces that those guys can have, not only in terms of defense, but in terms of like just stepping up and picking up the little things on offense. They mesh well with Wemby, even when he's off the court. I feel like the analytics side of things when it came to
Yeah,
telling their story when Wemby was off the court, they didn't give the Spurs enough love. But it's like when he's not on the court, they're still able to perform and stay
yeah,
consistent
they're
and still
still
they play
good. Like,
smoothly.
yeah, like
And
they're
you could
still
really think
good.
that you could thank Pop. Thank
Maybe,
Pop.
yeah.
Like thank Pop for talking to Wemby and giving him advice. And I think just that pressure of being on the Spurs. I'm not sure if you when you watch these games in San Antonio, like when they
Yeah,
show Timmy D, they show David Robinson, they
yeah,
show
it's crazy,
Tony
bro.
Parker and all those guys that played for them. It's like playing for it's like getting into a prestige club.
Yeah,
Like you we have these standards. Our standards are here. And right now, like even though you're getting there, we're still not
yeah,
satisfied. And that's what I like
exactly.
about that Spurs like
Yeah, nah,
organization.
it's fire. I feel like I want to go back to Dylan Harper because like you said, people didn't wouldn't understand like how they'll play against each other, play with De'Aaron Fox, and I think the perfect offseason will probably be because De'Aaron Fox is coming up on an extension. So I think if they do decide to extend him, I think Dylan Harper will jump in front of him to take that starting role, just to give Fox coming off the bench that 6 man role along with Johnson, Keldon Johnson, and stuff like that, which is still fine because but what I've noticed is Fox is more so like his game has changed since
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento, so like he doesn't push the ball as much now. I mean, and you don't have to because you got Castle, you got Wemby, so
7-5 one.
yeah, like you got 7-5 Wemby, so all you gotta do get the ball up, set up the offense, and then play that way. So I feel like um, Harper fits that starting system a little bit better, and we're seeing it in this play in this series. But no slight to Darren Fox, like he is still in his prime, in the prime of his career. He is the perfect dude to put with these young guys, and I think he's been a great leader personally. So
Yeah. And I just before we wrap up, I just want to say shout out to Chris Finch.
yeah,
Yeah, ever since you got to Minnesota, that mentality, you and Ant Edwards, like y'all been here, and I love it. Like a coach and his star player locked in, like nothing is even matters anymore. And I love his defensive scheme against Wemby. Like they've been pushing Wemby more towards at the three, trying to get him to shoot more, and that's worked. They were able to take 2 games.
yeah,
Like one of them, he was suspended for most half the game, but hey, like I mean, kicked out half the game, but still, like they've been forcing Wemby. They've been get if you can get a guy like Wemby to that annoyance level, your team is doing something good defensively,
nah,
and you can
facts.
you can give that to the coach, Chris Finch. Even when he was last year he tore his ACL,
Yeah,
or 2 years ago he tore his ACL, and
yeah,
he was still able to like sit there on the bench, coach, and then when he did have to sit out for a game or two, you know his backup coaches were able to step up because they know his play style, they know what he wants to do, and Chris Finch has really instilled a winning mentality
yeah.
for the first time in Minnesota since KG, and it's like I never thought any coach would want to go to Minnesota and like be like, I got this, but
Yeah,
he's ever since he's got been there, he's gotten that, and then just shout out to the coaching for most of these playoffs. I feel like a lot of the 8 teams that are still in the playoffs, of course, have had all great coaching,
yeah.
and that really shows you like in the playoffs, coaching does matter. And in my opinion, is why guys teams like the Rockets and like the uh freaking who
The
got
Lakers.
the Lakers, rock teams like the Rockets and Lakers, got coaching staff,
Is
yeah,
in
head coach really
shambles,
could use
man.
a little more work. JJ Redick, in my opinion, should not be a head coach, like a great assistant. I feel like you should have started off as assistant.
At least started
Yeah,
off in college. I'm not gonna lie.
that
Like,
too, but
like
hey,
I see you more as a college coach because obviously, like watching the Lakers is such a hard watch because it's like I see what he's trying to do, but he doesn't have the guys to run an offense like that, and he doesn't have guys that are good defensively. So that just goes to show you like defense matters. Defense matters so much. So yeah,
and then hopefully, you know, tonight, yeah, tonight
Cavs.
the Cavs Pistons game 5. I got Pistons because they're going back to Detroit. Um, that hopefully the rest of y'all enjoy the rest of the second round. It's almost over. Conference finals is about to start. I think next week once this series is wrapped up. Um and yeah, y'all keep doing what y'all do.
Yeah, bro.
Follow, like, subscribe, like, comment, share, all that. Smash the hype button
Smash the hype
like Dr.
button, bro.
K said. And yeah,
Nah, yeah, do all that. Something cooking up. Have a good one.